Alright, so in this particular recording, we're going to be dealing with relating linear context to graph features. So if you're following along, it's going to be kind of tough to take notes exactly because we're dealing with word problems. You don't want to have to write the whole word problem down, but at least you can follow along and write certain things down. So I don't know how to pronounce this person's name. I apologize. I'm going to just go with Pauline is mowing lawns for a summer job. For every mowing job, she charges an initial fee plus a constant fee for each hour of work. Now, something I can tell you, anytime somebody says they're going to charge an initial fee, that initial fee is referring to the y-intercept. Okay? That initial fee will always be the y-intercept, plus a constant fee for each hour of work. Now, this thing called the constant fee for each hour of work, that is referring to the slope. It's like the constant rate of change. So you do need to know slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Now it says her fee for a 5-hour job, for instance, is $42, and her fee for a 3-hour job is $28. So let's think about this. If we make a little table, we'll call it x, we'll call it y. X represents the hours that it takes her to complete a job, and Y represents the cha-ching, or the money, that she gets from it. So her fee for a 5-hour job, so 5 hours, she's going to charge $42, but for her fee for a 3-hour job is $28. Now, these are just two ordered pairs. They're not the x-intercept or the y-intercept, and they didn't actually give us the slope. They didn't tell us what she charges per hour, or they didn't give us the initial fee, which is the y-intercept. Just remember, the x-intercept is always x comma 0, and the y-intercept is always 0 comma y. All right, so they just look like they just gave us two ordered pairs is all they gave us. All right, so let's see what are the answer choices. I'm going to say they just gave us 2 points that aren't intercepts. Looks like that's what they gave us. Hey, I was right. Look at that. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. It says Noah drove from the Dead Sea up to Ammon, and her altitude changed at a constant rate. When she began driving, her altitude was 400 meters below. Ooh, look at that. It says 400 meters what? Below sea level. Now, what does that mean to be below sea level? You guys know where sea level is? What is sea level? Sea level is equal to what? It's like literally at 0. It's nothing above, nothing below. If we're 400 meters below, that means that we're at negative 400. Okay? So let's make a little table here. All right? We'll make an x and y. So x will be the hours that she's driving, okay? All right, and then y will be what's called the altitude. Altitude. Now, when she began driving, which basically means at the very beginning, so right there, 0, she's at negative 400 because it says 400 meters, keyword below. Now, when she arrived 2 hours later, so 2 hours later, her altitude was 1,000 meters above. All right, so 2 hours later, she was where? She was 1,000 meters above. Before, she was 400 meters below. Now she's 1,000 meters above. Which of the following could be the graph? Well, if we're starting below, it's going to be somewhere down here. And then by the time she gets up here, it's going to be above. So we're looking for a y-intercept below the x-axis and a line going up because her altitude is increasing. That's what we're looking for. Okay. B is looking pretty good. C is not looking good. And D, now, why are C and D ridiculous answers? Because her altitude's increasing. It's not decreasing. So we're going to go with B. Okay. Let's do another one. Burro Travel Bureau. That's kind of funny. Burro Travel Bureau. That's funny. All right. Arranges trips for descending. Ooh, what does the word descending mean? Do you guys know what the word descending means? another word for descending, like it's going down, right? It's decreasing, like it decreases into the Grand Canyon. So that kind of gives you a hint. If you're decreasing, what's happening to your line? It's going down. Yeah, there you go. Okay. For each trip, they charge an initial fee. Ooh, they gave us. For those students who are in my class, they kind of gave us something right there. What's the initial? What does that mean? Anytime you guys see the word initial, what does that refer to? Yeah, the start, right? So the initial fee is always going to be what? The y-intercept, all right? And then, in addition to that, they charge 10 cents for each vertical meter they descend. So right now, what is this 10 cents charged for each meter? Oh, keyword, for each. I know that's two words, sorry, for each. That is referring to the slope. So we have the y-intercept. Ready? The y-intercept's at 0.25. That's the y-intercept. Also known as the b-value. So the b-value is equal to 25. And they've also given us the slope, which is like 10 cents per meter. So they've given us the slope and the y-intercept. So I feel very, very confident of choosing B because they gave us the slope and the y-intercept. So if we were to write this equation, they didn't ask you to, but if you wanted to write it, it'd be this. There we go. There's the slope. There's the y-intercept. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done. Slope, y-intercept. Okay. A charity organization had a fundraiser where each ticket was sold for a fixed price. After selling 200 tickets, they had a net profit of $12,000. They had to sell a few tickets just to cover the necessary production cost of $1,200. All right, so they had a production cost of $1,200. Now, what does that mean? A production cost. That means you spent money. So if you spent $1,200 on something, okay? If you spent, I'm going to highlight that because that's pretty important. They had to sell to cover the what? Production cost right there. So if you spend this amount, is that money that you have or money that you lost? Well, not lost, but don't have. It's money that you don't have. So think of it this way. You literally start, before the charity, you start with, remember, x equals tickets. X equals tickets and y equals the money that you make. Well, when you've sold 0 tickets, if you sold 0 tickets, you'd actually be in the negative. You'd have negative $1,200 to make up. So you owe, basically you're in debt $1,200. But after selling what? After selling 200 of the tickets, after selling 200 of them, now they had a net profit of what? 1,200. Okay? It's not 1,200. 12,000. All right? So after 200, they have what? $12,000. So, would you guys agree that it's definitely increasing? It's definitely increasing, but did they start out in the positive? No. Where did they start out? They started out in the negative, and it's going up from there. So that's the graph that we're looking for. Looking for a graph that started out where they were in the negative, and now it's going up to a positive. Okay? So I'm going to choose B. And that's it. So I went over quite a few problems. What you're going to have to do in all these problems is you're going to have to read carefully and see what you have. Just remember, all these problems are dealing with the linear function, and basically you're dealing with either slopes right here, or the intercept, the y-intercept. Make sure you put y-intercept. And you just got to read through it and make tables and figure out what they're asking for. And that's about all I can do. Good luck.